So last Friday, I put a post on our community tab here on our YouTube channel for all of our community members, both subscribers and non-subscribed alike, to come and vote as to what you think the role of Afghanistan will be, the impact of it in the 2022 midterms. Here's how I phrase the question. Americans approve of the decision to withdraw from Afghanistan, but they disapprove of how it was done. Republicans want to make this the big issue for the midterms, so do you think it will have an impact 14 months from now? And by the way, that's the key, 14 months from now. A lot happens in 14 months, especially in the world of politics. So here's the result. Yes, it will have a big impact. 8% of the 32,000 votes we had on this poll, only 8% said yes, it's going to have a huge impact. Maybe it will have an impact, or the impact will be negligible, or medium impact, 29% said maybe. So almost 30% said maybe. So 10,000 people in our poll here said maybe. No, the impact will be negligible. 63% of our respondents said that. Said no, the impact will be negligible. So most of our audience here, and if you're watching this, that's you if you voted in this poll. Most of you agree with me that Afghanistan will likely not play that big of a role in the 2022 midterms. Certainly there's some voters who are going to go to the polls and Afghanistan is going to be all they care about. That's a given, okay? We understand that. But is it going to be a big enough number to move any of the numbers one way or another? I don't think so. Now, full disclosure, I've been wrong before. Because I'm a human being and we get things wrong. Even in the world of politics, there are no certainties. So yes, I've been wrong. I've also been right way more than I've been wrong. So anyway, there's that too. But I do believe, and I agree with the 63%, that the impact is going to be negligible. But I want to read some of the comments because these comments really just kind of blew me away. Like, y'all are so smart and like in tune with politics that I feel like I got to up my game just to keep up with you guys. So anyway, here we go. I'm just going to randomly scroll through here and start somewhere. From Ronan Blade. Afghanistan had to happen. No reason to waste more money. Republicans are supported by the military complex, of course. They want this endless war. Fred Mertz. For once, I agree with Ann Coulter. Biden had the stones to do it. Fred Durf says, nope. Anyone who would vote against Biden for his handling of Afghanistan is already going to vote against him. And by the way, there's over 700 comments, so I'm not reading all of them. This is from a user named Ben Dover. It says, in my opinion, there was no easy or perfect scenario for this. At least it was done. So many presidents talked about bringing them home, but Biden did. On top of that, these days, the Republicans are a walking disaster. I would like to believe America is smarter than that. I would also like to believe that too, but you know. PC Wyndham Paranormal Romance Sci-Fi Fantasy is the long handle on this person. Says, I personally do not disapprove of even how it was done. He did the best he could with the situation. No, Biden did all right. Dave Bartosh says, as much as they try, the GOP can't inflate the withdrawal into more than the minor debacle it was. Certainly bigger issues out there. And see, that's the key. Bigger issues out there, right? There are bigger issues. We're still in not even the middle of a pandemic. I feel like we're still in the beginning of a pandemic. You know, hospitals rationing care. We've got this $3.5 trillion budget out there. That is a huge deal coming up here in September. That is going to play a larger role in the midterms than Afghanistan, especially, of course, as I always say, if the Democratic Party, the Democratic majorities in the House and the slim VP vote majority in the Senate, if they produce these deliverables, tangibles for the American public, Afghanistan doesn't play a role whatsoever. Just a couple more here. From Cyrim says, in the words of Ann Coulter, Trump repeatedly demanded that we bring our soldiers home, but only President Biden had the balls to do it. So a lot of people, you know, and I did a video agreeing with Ann Coulter, like a lot of people agree with that. Ruth RD says, who made the deal with the Taliban and negotiated the release of hundreds of Taliban fighters? This should be an antidote to any foolishness the Republicans try to propagate. And that's true. It was 5,000, by the way. 5,000 Taliban troops Donald Trump released from jail. This one from Douglas Ash, who says, like Farrow has said, I don't know if that's typo or a nickname. If it's typo, that's all right. If it's a nickname, I'm flattered, but no thank you. Republicans have no real issues of their own. Just pick something someone has said or done and lie about it till their sheep believe it. Priscilla says, people have the memory of a goldfish. It won't matter. Thank you, Priscilla. My God, I've been saying that for years. And the reason I say that and have for years is because, again, I've been doing this for over 17 years now. It's draining. I had hair when I started. I swear to God, I had hair. But it's stressful. And the biggest stress comes from the fact that, yeah, the voters move on. The voters forget. I mean, hell, if we're talking about Afghanistan, is that going to be an issue? We should be talking about, is January 6th going to be an issue? But no. If it weren't for that January 6th select committee, the entire public would have already moved on from that issue too. So it's not just, oh, they forget about bad things Democrats do. They forget about bad things Republicans do. They forget about bad things that literally everybody does, because average, ordinary people have lives of their own, and that always takes precedent. Which is why, of course, Democrats have to give those deliverables. You have to give things to people that improve their lives, improve their situation, improve their country. Because if you do that, and people can sit down at the dinner table and have a conversation with their friends or their family or their spouses or whoever, and they say, yeah, our lives are getting better because administration did X, Y, or Z. You do that, and that trumps everything. Those are things people remember because it impacts them every single day. I want to read a couple more here again, just because there are so many. Marie Finley says, the right decision was made, and it was time to. Maritza Rivera says, they will come up with many other issues by then. The withdrawal from our soldiers being the main topic. At least Biden had the balls to return the troops back home, and he didn't have all those prisoners released from jail, which will probably be a threat to the U.S. later on. Very good point. Jay Lawrence says, so many people were sick of Afghanistan that while the end game was a mess, many, if not most Americans are glad we're out. The negative impact will only be temporary. I agree with you on that. If there is a significant attack between now and then, it's going to screw him. That's from Daniel Hall. And yeah, he says, if not, people will have short memories like the people blaming all this on Biden. That's a good point. So that is, the X factor there. If something happens to us here, or if there's an increase in attacks over there, absolutely that starts to play a role. So that's something to keep an eye on. Barbara Davis says, Biden has just cemented his legacy in the history books as being the man of the hour, the president who ended the 20-year war. Brianne B. says, we live in an era where yesterday's news is forgotten. It always happens. One breaking news story to the next. People will be outraged by the next big story, and it has to do with all these 24-hour news, internet places. You have to keep them coming back, and breaking news is perfect for all of that crave the next big story. Yeah, I agree. And speaking of, I hope everybody also comes back tomorrow for the next big stories here. But anyway, that's a perfect place to end this. Thank you all to everyone who participated in this poll. I'm going to post another one on Friday, okay? Another community poll coming this coming Friday, different issue. We'll let people have, 4 or 5 days to vote on it. We'll do a follow-up video once again with the results of that. So thank you again for your continued support. Thank you all for voting. 32,000 votes. That's phenomenal. Another one coming up this coming Friday, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you.